Plant pathology. In plant pathology, the next point is the classification of plant diseases based on symptoms. What are the symptoms? The symptoms are external visible expressions of pathogenic conditions. The pathogen after initiation of a disease in the host shows visible expressions on the plants. The classification of plant disease based on symptoms, they are of the two types, that is pre-necrotic symptoms and necrotic symptoms. What are the pre-necrotic symptoms? The pre-necrotic symptoms, the symptoms that produces death or disintegration of tissue are called as pre-necrotic symptoms, and these pre-necrotic symptoms as wilting, abnormal coloration and water soaking. What is wilting? Wilting means dropping of plant by the attack of pathogen is called as wilting. The wilting may cause within few hours after infection or after few days of infection. It depends upon the age of plant and the environmental conditions as well as the virulence of pathogens. Virulence means the capacity, that is तीव्रता. आपण तीव्रता म्हणतो किंवा त्याची डिसीज प्रोड्यूस करण्याची जी कॅपॅसिटी आहे त्याला virulence म्हणतो. And this virulence, generally the wilting takes place in seedling stage. Sometimes only dropping of leaves or sometimes twig or small parts of the stem takes place. Sometimes the total plant may be drops down. It is nothing but the wilting. What is abnormal coloration? Abnormal coloration, it is the another type of symptoms, that is pre-necrotic symptoms, and abnormal coloration means the normal color of the plants can be changed, and abnormal coloration like the yellowing of the color, then browning of the color, then purpling, reddening of the color of an organ or the localized area or any part of the plant can be observed. It is nothing but the abnormal coloration. The normal color of the plants can be changed, and abnormal coloration they can be also occurs. Then another pre-necrotic symptom, that is water soaking. Water soaking means the translucent conditions can be caused and the water moving from cell to intercellular spaces. An example of the water soaking is the citrus canker. You know the citrus canker, on the citrus plant or on the fruit, some water translucent areas they can be developed and they can form this spot, and these spots they are brown in color, and it is the water soaking area. Another example, that is blight of potato blight, it is also the example of the water soaking symptoms. Then the second type of the symptoms they can be observed, and these necrotic symptoms. What are the necrotic symptoms? Necrotic symptoms means local or general death and disintegration of cell or tissue is called as necrotic symptoms. These necrotic symptoms are various types. The first one is the blast. Blast means quick death. That is after infection, when entire leaf or bird or other plant parts resulting into a quick death is called as the blast. And example of this, the blast of rice. Blast of rice is the best example of this type of symptoms. Then second one, that is the blight. What is the blight? The blight means the sudden or total decoloration of the plant parts or killing of large number of tissues are called as blight. this rapid killing and destruction of above ground part is characteristic of blight. And example of this blight is the late blight of potato. Then another example, early blight of potato. Late blight of potato and early blight of potato. Late blight of potato, the symptoms they can be observed during the late. Therefore, this disease is called as late blight of potato. Then another, this is early blight of potato. The symptoms they can be observed in early stage. Therefore, it is called as early blight of potato. And what is meant by blight? Blight means sudden or total decoloration and killing of large number of tissue. It is called as blight. Then third one is the canker. What is canker? Canker means a definite dead, sunken or swollen and cracked area on the stem, leaf and fruit is called as canker. It causes localized death of the tissue. In serious cases, the girdle stem and kills twig after killing and peeling of bark. The wound is exposed to the environment. The corky growth develops in the affected plants. The canker, example of this canker type of symptom, that is citrus canker. Citrus लिंबूवरचा जो कॅन्कर आहे, ब्राउन स्पॉट असतात लिंबूच्या फ्रूट वरती, इट इज द एक्झाम्पल ऑफ दिस कॅन्कर टाइप ऑफ डिसीज and the disease which can be observed in the citrus plant and it is known as the citrus canker disease. Then another symptom, that is damping off. Damping off, it is the another type of symptoms. The decay of seed or rapid death of germinating seed results in dropping of above ground part and collapsing of the plant in young condition is called as damping off. And this damping can be takes place when the plants they are in young condition. When there is a plants, that is we can call as a young plant, रोपटे आपण म्हणतो, रोपट्याच्या अवस्थेमध्ये जे प्लांट्स आहेत त्यांचं ड्रॉपिंग होतं, प्लांट्स टोटल प्लांट ड्रॉप डाऊन होतात, प्लांट्स किलिंग होतात किंवा जर्मिनेशनच्या वेळी त्याचं डॅम्पिंग होतं. And example of the damping of chili, damping of tomato, damping of tobacco. In these plants, damping can be also observed. Then dieback. Dieback means drying of the stem tip downwards. It is called as dieback. And this dieback, it can be also observed in some plants due to the incorrect pruning technique. The dieback can be also observed, as well as due to the drying of the stem tip to the downwards, and the plant shows the burnt appearance. फांदी जी आहे एखादी, त्या फांदीचं फूल तोडलेलं असेल, फ्रूट असेल किंवा एखादी फांदी अशी टिप कडून खालीपर्यंत वाळत येते आणि ते पूर्ण असं वाळल्यासारखं जे स्ट्रक्चर दिसतं, जळल्यासारखं स्ट्रक्चर दिसतं, त्यालाच डायबॅक असं म्हटलं जातं. आणि हे डायबॅक जे आहे तर हे फ्रूट प्लांट मध्ये, जे फ्रूट प्लांट आहेत किंवा रोज प्लांट मध्ये, ह्या प्लांट मध्ये हा डायबॅक हे सिम्पटम जास्त प्रमाणामध्ये दिसून येतात. त्याच्यानंतर नेक्स्ट सिम्पटम आहे रॉटिंग. व्हॉट इज रॉटिंग? रॉटिंग मीन्स the decomposition and disintegration of infected tissue is called rot. And rotting is of the different types, that is the soft rot, dry rot and pink rot. Soft rot means the succulent fruits and vegetables are spoiled by the fungal and bacterial infection and forms watery or pulpy portion is called soft rot. Then what is a dry rot? Dry rot means the infected areas forms the fern or dry tissue becomes killed is called the dry rot. Then what is pink rot? or black rot, after infection the area becomes pink or black, and the parts which can be infected, they can be infected by the member of Basidiomycetes fungus. And this Basidiomycetes fungus, after infection, it forms the black or pink colored infected portion, and therefore it is called as the pink rot or the black rot. Then another symptom, that is short hole. What is short hole? Short hole in a necrotic spot, the appearance is as bullet is passed through the plant organ, the central portion dies and dries, and the hole is formed and showing the burnt appearance on the border as well as at the middle of the leaves also, and it is called as the short hole. Sometimes bullet is passed. Bullet जशी बंदुकीची गोळी गेल्यानंतर जसं पानामध्ये वगैरे छिद्र पडतं, तसं त्या ठिकाणी पूर्ण त्या एरियामध्ये असं ड्राय पोर्शन तयार होतो, की जसं जेणेकरून बंदुकीची गोळी गेल्यानंतर जसं आरपार सगळं स्ट्रक्चर तयार होतं, असे होल्स पडतात, and it is called as the short hole. This is the another type of symptoms they can be observed on the infected plants in pathogenic conditions. Next symptom, that is hypoplasia. Hypoplasia means hypoplastic. That is, it means the abnormal cell production. Hypoplasia means abnormal cell production. In plants, the normal cell production is stopped, and abnormal cell production can be also takes place by the attack of the pathogen, and it results in abnormal growths can be also observed in the infected parts of the plants. Some parts becomes dwarfing, some plants their shape can be changed. It is called as the hypoplasia. Then hypertrophy. What is hypertrophy? Hypertrophy means overgrowth. Overgrowth, the normal growth, above the growth can, extra growth can be also occurs in some parts. It is called as the hypertrophy, and it is an abnormal increase in size of one or more organs of the plant by the attack of the pathogen, or it is called as the hypertrophy. Some fungi, they can causes the distortion or sometimes swelling in some parts can be also occurs, as well as curling of the leaves, or galls, as well as tumors are formed on the plants. It is also the hypertrophy. Then another type of symptoms they can be also observed, the chlorosis. What is chlorosis? The destruction of the chlorophyll by the infection of the pathogen, and resulting in the yellowish plant parts, yellowing of the plants, as well as the plant parts are sometimes whitey spots they can be observed, or the color of the plants can be changed. The chlorophyll destruction can be also takes place. It is known as the chlorosis. Then stunting is the another type of symptom. What is stunting? Stunting means the reduction of the growth, or a slow growth, or shortening of plant and plant parts as the internodes as well as leaves, and shortening of the plant parts, it is called as stunting. Rosette. Rosette means the formation of the bunchy growth due to the infection, that is there is a shortening of the nodes and internodes, and due to the shortening of the internodes of the shoot as well as the branches, it can produces the bunchy growth. It is called rosette. And example of this type of rosette, that is the bunchy top of banana. Bunchy top of banana means all the leaves they can forms at a one place, and by the reduction of the internodes and the bunchy growth can be also occurs, and therefore it is called as bunchy top of this example of this rosette type, the bunchy top of banana. Banana मध्ये हे bunchy top याच्यामध्ये फॉर्म होतो.